Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 57 based on novel. So let's start. Boom boom boom. Terrifying fluctuations emanated from the blood-colored vortex in an instant, and at the same time, the originally indestructible blood-colored vortex also showed signs of disintegration, accompanied by waves of heat waves. The next moment, the attack of the ghost sword in Inxie's hand and Xiao Yan's lotus of annihilation collided viciously together. The two terrifying forces also collided violently in an instant. Bai Zhong Daomeng and Xiao Yan's lotus of annihilation, which contained a monstrous ghost and evil aura, exuded a shocking explosion in the blood-colored vortex. Just at the distance of several meters between the two, the terrifying explosion spread instantly. At this time, the dark space in the blood-colored vortex also became brighter under the illumination of the fiery flame energy of the Lotus of Silence. At the same time, a woman is also standing slowly in the blood-colored vortex, but on top of her white clothes, some heavy armors are covered. On the armor, each and every one of the extremely hideous evil cheeks is accompanied by a circle of terrifying strength also appeared, but the smile on the woman's cheeks at this time was also quite strange. On the other side, Xiao Yan also stood facing the blood-colored vortex, but the vindictive energy in his body was also squandered and nearly depleted, but fortunately, Xiao Yang, a high-level pharmacist, had recovered not many medicinal pills while staring at the blood-colored vortex at this time. In the confrontation, while swallowing the medicine pill. By this time, Xiao Yang didn't feel sorry for these high-level medicinal pills anymore. He devoured them, and as the high-grade medicinal pills entered his body, Xiao Yang could also feel a wave of extremely gentle power flowing slowly among his limbs and bones. His vindictive energy was slowly recovering. Cough cough. The next moment, the flame armor on Xiao Yang's body was also shattered, and then the rather handsome Xiao Yi also appeared in front of Xiao Yang, but at this time Xiao Yi was covered in milky white flames. Weak, very weak. The effect of this first possession is really bad. Xiao Yi also said indignantly. Obviously this time the possession did not exert much power and it was over. It's fine. Xiao Yang also smiled, comforting Xiao Yi. Since Xiao Yi appeared in Du, Xiao Yang's strength has also dropped from the peak of the 7-star Do Emperor to his original strength. In the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, there was no physical discomfort. After all, the strength that had skyrocketed before was a total of 3 7-star Do Emperor. The pure power of the strong, so it did not have much impact on Xiao Yang. This ghost slash is the famous skill of the twin ghost emperors. It is said that thousands of years ago, there were countless 7-star fighting emperors who died under the trick of the twin ghost emperors. The 9-soul Steely also said in a low voice. You said that Xiao Yang's attack, or the evil evil's attack is stronger. Chang Yu also muttered. Although I don't know why, Chang Yu can always feel that the 3 layers of energy in Xiao Yang's exquisite lotus of annihilation, although the outermost flame power is powerful, but it is still enough to generate the power to make the evil spirits fear. The invisible energy in the inner layer contains terrifying soul power. As for the power in the exquisite lotus seeds in the innermost layer, it makes Chang Yu feel a sense of fear. It's hard to say, after all, this kid Xiao Yang should have some secrets, and the power above the lotus seed, even I would not dare to confront it. However, the current strength of the twin ghost emperors is still far from the peak. Let's look at the situation. If something goes wrong, the two of us will take action immediately, and we must let these good faces escape. The 9-soul monument also said solemnly, and then stared at the fierce collision in the blood-colored vortex. Strange. How can there be an invisible force around Xiao Yang? Mu Yingying didn't care about the words of the 9 souls monument. She just stared at the space around Xiao Yang in a daze. The space around Xiao Yang's body was squirming slightly. Boom, boom, boom. The collision in the blood-colored vortex became more and more intense, and the evil sword light, with a size of hundreds of meters, and the Lotus of Annihilation attacked together viciously. It's just strange that the power of the two did not explode immediately, because there were two terrifying powers around the Lotus of Annihilation, so the sword light was also blocked forcibly. At the beginning of the contact, the knife light and the flame energy collided violently, and after a few moments, the black flame energy in the outermost layer of the Lotus of Silence was smashed away by the knife light, and then with the shattering of the outermost flame energy, the Lotus of Silence also revealed the power of the second layer, the combination of soul power and spiritual power. Damn boy! Yin Xie also snorted coldly, and then with Yin Xie's cold snort, the terrifying sword light also broke through the second layer of the Lotus of Destruction. Bai Zhang's black sword light was extremely sharp, and it broke the second layer of the Lotus of Quietness abruptly, and with the terrifying sword light, it broke the second layer of the Lotus of Nemesis defense one after another. The Lotus of Silence also revealed the innermost appearance. It seems that heaven doesn't wish you any favors. Yin Xie also snorted coldly, and then burst into laughter all over his body. Only at this moment, the battle has also gained attention. The terrifying sword light broke through the second layer of defense, and the breath did not weaken in the slightest, nor did it stay in the slightest. Under the control of the evil, it attacked the lotus seed. The terrifying knife light touched the lotus seeds of the Lotus of Silence, and the flame energy continued to overflow everywhere, resisting the erosion of the knife light, and then the extremely evil grimace in the knife light also emerged, right? Launched a frantic attack, with the flames around the Lotus of Silence. Bang bang bang. Under the maddening attack of the sword light tilde, the Lotus of Nirvana was also in a state of powerlessness, and then the next moment, it was instantly chopped in half by the terrifying sword light. I lost. Countless contestants on the ground frowned upon seeing this scene, and the horror of death filled their hearts. Let's die. Yin Xie also laughed. If the last spiritual pillar of mankind was destroyed by himself, so would their fate. That's not necessarily true. Xiao Yan also snorted coldly, and then his pupils shrank tightly, and a terrifying wave instantly filled out. The place where the terrifying fluctuations permeated was not Xiao Yang, but the Lotus of Silence that was cut in half in the blood-colored vortex. Lotus of Silence. Put evil. The majestic voice also reverberated in the entire sky, and as the terrifying sword glow cut the Lotus of Annihilation in half, the sword glow launched by the ghost sword also dissipated. But at this time, with Xiao Yang's voice falling, the speed of the Lotus of Annihilation, which was cut in half, suddenly increased sharply, and it roared away at the evil that was close at hand. Damn it! Yin Xie also shouted angrily. He didn't expect this Xiao Yang to come out like this. At this moment, a terrifying black aura emerged from the body of the halved lotus. And when Yin Xie, who was smiling just now, was watching the black aura on the Lotus of Silence, Dai's eyes shrank tightly, and her body trembled, as if she was very afraid. Damn it! What is the aura of that black chi that actually makes me terrified? Yin Xie also quickly calculated in his heart, and before he had time to think about it, the Ghost Emperor armor covering his body exuded a very strong thick ghost energy, trying to surround himself in groups to resist the power of the Lotus of Silence. Without the obstruction of the sword light, the next moment, the Lotus of Annihilation also slammed into the black chi of the Inxia body of the twin Ghost Emperors. The black energy was condensed by the Ghost Emperor armor, and its defensive power was astonishing. Xiao Yang in the sky also shook his head and smiled slightly. Boom boom boom. Even if it is cut in half, the power of the Lotus of Silentness will not weaken in the slightest. Because Xiao Yang was controlling the Lotus of Silence just now, deliberately weakening the outermost defensive power of the Lotus of Silence, in order to let the twin Ghost Emperors relax their vigilance, thus making a fatal blow. But fortunately, Xiao Yang still succeeded. This evil never noticed Xiao Yang's small actions from beginning to end. At this time, Yin Xiezheng was stubbornly resisting the Lotus of Quietness. Boom boom boom. The Lotus of Annihilation slammed into the evil's black air defense, and even without the slightest suppression, it exploded with a bang. Hundreds of feet of mushroom cloud. And with the appearance of the mushroom cloud, the originally indestructible blood-colored vortex was instantly shattered by the terrifying high temperature and destructive power. The terrifying attacks continued to attack the evil spirits, but the evil spirits were extremely powerful, and even the Lotus of Destruction did not cause much damage to it. It's just that with the complete explosion of the Lotus of Annihilation, the black energy attached to the Lotus of Annihilation is also facing the gathering of yin and evil. Bang bang bang. The terrifying black qi instantly filled the black qi defense of the twin ghost emperors. The twin ghost emperors showed his powerful side at this time. Even under the attack of the Lotus of Annihilation, he was able to cope with ease, because he did not dare to underestimate this power. But although this power is powerful, it would be foolish to want to kill him. It's just that when the black qi on the Lotus of Annihilation appeared on top of his defensive ghost qi, Yin Xie felt a heartbeat. What kind of power is this? Because Yin Xie suddenly discovered that the ghostly qi that was originally defending the Lotus of Quietness and produced a terrifying explosion of flames was rapidly weakening when the black qi was attached to it. Yin and evil are clear. Once the defensive ghost energy is eroded, then facing a terrifying explosion, the end is either serious injury or death. At the same time, Yin Xie's face became solemn. Damn it. What is this? Yin Xie didn't have time to be surprised. The ghostly energy covering his body was completely swallowed up by the black energy. Moreover, after the black qi devoured his defensive ghost qi, he had no intention of retreating at all. The next moment, it was also tightly attached to his Ghost Emperor armor. The black energy was attached to the Ghost Emperor's armor, and Yin Xie felt that the Ghost Emperor's armor, which was enough to resist the full blow of an 8-star Do Emperor powerhouse, seemed to have lost its strength at this time, and it was the same as an ordinary piece of armor. Clothes make no difference. Boom boom boom. Just when Yin Xie was extremely surprised, a terrifying explosion also filled the air, and then with the help of black qi, Yin Xie's defense ghost qi and Ghost Emperor armor were useless. Boom boom boom. This Lotus of Annihilation was just condensed by Xiao Yang's strength at the peak of the 7-star Do Emperor. So even if it is the evil spirit of the 8th rank Ghost Emperor, without the slightest defense, if it is directly hit by such a terrifying attack, then the end is. Yin Xie really deserves to be a Ghost Emperor. When he knew that the black qi should not be underestimated and that he could not resist it, his figure moved, and he wanted to escape, but the black qi had already taken him away. Staying still, the evil spirits at this time, his pupils are also full of fear, and it was not until this moment that he knew that this black gas is of course the soul-devouring talisman among the 12 evil soldiers of the ghost world. How could a human being possess the soul-eater talisman? Yin Xie also screamed hideously, but this cry was not heard by anyone except Xiao Yang. Boom boom boom. The terrifying attack was like hitting a dead target, forcibly attacking the twin Ghost Emperor's body. Successful. The people on the ground were also shocked by this sudden scene, and they never imagined that Xiao Yang could suddenly turn the tide of the battle. Xiao Yang, you really succeeded. Yueru also said slowly, letting go of her hanging heart. I knew this kid could do it. Mu Feng also said with a smile. I really succeeded by this kid. The Nine Souls Monument also has a sluggish way. Obviously, no one could have imagined that a mere 4-star Do Emperor would actually be able to inflict heavy damage on the 8th rank twin Ghost Emperors. This kid is not only good in strength, but also has a good temperament and sense of the overall situation. He's the one who made the big deal. Chang Yu also laughed. With the strength of these two, even if the vindictive energy in the body is sluggish, it is not difficult to find out that the evil had suffered such a terrifying attack from Xiao Yan. I originally wanted me to take action, but I didn't expect this kid to be so terrifying. Can't stay. Kill. The terrifying killing intent also appeared instantly. Then the next moment, the space around Xiao Yang twisted strangely, and then a black figure with a very evil aura also launched an attack on Xiao Yang at a very fast speed. An arm in the figure stretched out, and then swung down at Xiao Yang. The terrifying palm print attacked the weakened Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang had just recovered, but he found it. A terrifying attack came towards him, and he just wanted to defend himself, but his soul power and spiritual power were exhausted, and a sense of powerlessness spread throughout his body. Xiao Yang, be careful. A coquettish anger sounded, and then an azure flame also instantly covered Xiao Yang's body, and then the terrifying palm print did not attack Xiao Yang tilde. I was shocked by this azure blue flame. The flames were stopped. The power of the terrifying palm print and the azure flame also cancelled each other out, but the azure flame actually had a trace of it strung into the black figure, and suddenly the black figure had to give up killing Xiao Yang and deal with the inside of the body of that azure flame. Why does this azure flame have a familiar feeling? The Golden Dragon King, who was hidden in Xiao Yang's ring, also whispered. Obviously, he had already discovered the attack of the black figure just now. If it wasn't for Mu Yingying's shot, then he will definitely stop it. Xiao Yang, are you all right? Be careful, this person is very strong. Mu Yingying also leaned over with the heavenly fire sacred tiger, and then Mu Yingying bit her lips and said to Xiao Yang, "Thank you very much for what happened just now." Xiao Yang also said softly, and then some medicinal pills also appeared in his hands and walked away towards Mu Yingying. Seeing this, Mu Yingying wanted to refuse just now, but she accepted the black figure in front of her, and then her lips parted slightly and swallowed it away. It actually failed. Let it go. Stop them, I'll protect the Ghost Emperor's soul, said the black figure, and then behind him, a figure in black clothes also appeared. Damn it. A 7-star Do Emperor powerhouse and a 6-star Do Emperor powerhouse. Chang Yu's expression also became solemn. Damn it. No, stop him now, he wants to collect the Ghost Emperor's soul. I finally killed the twin Ghost Emperors and made their soul appear. If this soul is lost, another Ghost Emperor will also be born. Chang Yu shouted. After Chang Yu finished speaking, Hu Du, Wu Jiang, and Xiao Yu on the ground also rushed towards the sky. After Chang Yu finished speaking, he also surrounded Xiao Yang and Mu Yingying behind him. After all, no matter what, these people are the best seedlings in this point-grabbing competition, and no mistakes are allowed. It is strange to say that Mu Yingying's azure flame just now actually followed the attack of the 7-star Do Emperor powerhouse of the man in black, which made Xiao Yang quite puzzled. But watching Mu Yingying display 9 azure flames, I didn't think much about their ups and downs in the future. Seeing this, the 9 Souls Monument and Chang Yu exchanged glances, then turned towards the man in black with the strength of the 7-star Do Emperor, trying to stop it. Absolutely can't let him take the Ghost Emperor's soul away. Otherwise it's going to be a big trouble. After the 9 Souls Monument finished speaking, the speed soared. Although they had little Do Chi left in their bodies at this time, they were still 7-star Do Di powerhouses, and just now, Xiao Yang also gave them some medicinal pills. The vindictive energy in the body has also recovered a lot. Those who block me. Death. The black man also said angrily. The 2 black people are Yuquan and Hongye. It's just that Yuquan didn't find it. After Yuquan used the secret method to devour the evil yin at Hankai, although Yochuan's strength soared to the level of a 7-star Do Emperor, his Xinxing was also greatly affected. Murder. However, Hongye can't manage so much. This is the last step, and you can't give up no matter what. Everyone still wait here, so as not to suffer some flesh and blood. Another 6-star Do Di strong man, Hong Yi, a man in black, also said. Your Excellency is acting as an enemy of our entire Xiantian Santian, so you are not afraid. Chang Yu also said slowly. Although Chang Yu is the strength of the 7-star Do Emperor, but his body is sluggish. In addition, although the man in black in front of him is only a 6-star Do Emperor, he vaguely gives Chang Yu a different feeling, so Chang Yu also has no first place. Start at once. But the most important thing is that Chang Yu wants to protect Mu Yingying and Xiao Yang. These two rare seedlings cannot tolerate any mistakes. You don't need to take Xian Santian to oppress me, just use people's money to relieve people's disasters. The man in black said slowly. But don't worry, as long as you don't move, I won't be difficult for you. After all, I don't have too many obligations to help him. Hongye also said coldly, apparently holding a grudge against his subordinates, who had just been swallowed by evil spirits. When Chang Yu heard the words, he shook his head and didn't say anything. The man in front of him didn't show any signs of making a move, so he simply put his eyes on the explosion in the sky. At this time, the explosion was nearing its end. I saw that in the center of the explosion, where is the existence of the famous twin ghost emperors and evil spirits. Looking at it, some are just a group of slightly illusory figures slowly emerging. The twin ghost emperors were actually killed by Xiao Yang. Chang Yu was also surprised. Obviously, Chang Yu just knew that Xiao Yang's attack must be extraordinary, but the twin ghost emperor Inxia, who was as powerful as the 8th rank ghost emperor, was forcibly killed by Xiao Yang. This is a real kill. Even if Xiao Yang used the power of the 3 7-star fighting emperors and killed the twin ghost emperors, it was a real kill. This kid is really a monster. Chang Yu also laughed. Obviously Xiao Yang's actions from the beginning to the end were all taken into his heart by Chang Yu, so he was quite appreciated. It seems that we can only go first, otherwise there are many human beings here. The man in black also said in a low voice, and then without hesitation, the speed suddenly skyrocketed, breaking free from the obstruction of the 9-soul monument, and went straight towards that illusory figure violently away. Damn it. If it weren't for the excessive amount of fighting chi in the body, how would I allow a character like you to jump so much in front of me? The 9-soul monument was also angrily said. Compared with people who are weaker than himself, it is inevitable that he will be a little unconvinced. Yu Quan also ignored the movement of the 9-soul monument, and the next moment, he appeared next to the illusory figure, and then his eyes were hidden by the black clothes, revealing a greedy look. Immediately, when the 9-souls monument was stunned, he opened his huge black mouth, and suddenly swallowed the illusory figure left by the twin ghost emperors. Damn! At this time, Xiao Yang's pupils also shrank tightly, and then it was slightly inconceivable. Master, this ghost world still has this kind of exercise. Xiao Yang also found that the man in black's devouring method was quite domineering, but more of it was the power of evil. This devouring doesn't seem to belong to the ghost world. Maybe this man in black is not a ghost in the ghost world. It's a bit like what humans use. The Golden Dragon King also said solemnly. But I have to say, your kid succeeded. What a daring boy. The Golden Dragon King's admiring voice also slowly entered Xiao Yang's mind. Hee hee. Xiao Yang also laughed when he heard the words. Obviously, the terrifying power brought by the fusion of soul power and spiritual power just now made Xiao Yang quite satisfied, until the last 2 powers and the perfect combination of the Lotus of Silence, the power is even better. At this time, don't look at Xiao Yang's strength in the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, and only give a certain amount of time to condense the Lotus of Annihilation. Even the powerhouse, at the peak of the 4-star Do Emperor, has a battle. As for the more powerful 5-star, Do Di Xiao Yang also has the confidence to not fall behind. This is Xiao Yang's greatest resource. But I have to say that this Soul Eater Talisman's restraint on the twin Ghost Emperors is really powerful. Originally, I only thought of re-injuring the Ghost Emperors. I didn't expect the power of this Soul Eater Talisman to be so terrifying. It actually killed the twin Ghost Emperors and destroyed them. The body of the twin Ghost Emperors was finally found, thus making the soul of the twin Ghost Emperors sluggish. This Soul Eater Talisman is really a good thing. Xiao Yang also grinned. After consulting with his master, the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yang also laughed, and then his eyes suddenly saw Mu Yingying beside him. At this moment, Mu Yingying had a lot of sweat on her forehead, and her breath was also one after another, very unstable. Just now. Thank you very much. Xiao Yang also raised his hand, and an extremely gentle flame energy slowly entered Mu Yingying's body. Seeing this, Mu Yingying also slightly wrinkled her eyes. She hesitated and accepted Xiao Yang's power. After all, it was still a corpse forest, so she couldn't relax. It's not worth the effort. Mu Yingying also smiled at Xiao Yang. The man in black is going to run away. Chang Yu's low voice also interrupted the conversation between Xiao Yang and Mu Yingying. Let's go. After Yu Quan devoured the souls of the twin Ghost Emperors, the aura in his body also skyrocketed, and two completely different forces spread wildly in his body. Stop him, absolutely can't let him escape. He devoured the soul of the twin Ghost Emperors. The 9-soul monument roared angrily. So many of them finally killed the twin Ghost Emperors. As long as their souls are brought back and handed over to the superpowers of Xian Santian to deal with, then the twin Ghost Emperors will not turn over. Hudu, Wujiang Xiaoye, and Zhuhun Monument also nodded, and then slowly surrounded the secluded spring and Hengye. Come on. We are not their opponents. Yu Quan also uttered the last sentence, trying his best to suppress the backlash of the twin Ghost Emperor's souls in his body. It is not an easy task to devour the souls of the twin Ghost Emperors. If it weren't for the fact that there were too many strong human beings here, Yu Quan would definitely not choose to directly devour this extremely unsafe method. So now I am doing my best to suppress the backlash of the twin Ghost Emperor's souls, otherwise, once it is backlashed, Yu Quan will also be controlled by the twin Ghost Emperor's souls and become the evil twin Ghost Emperors just now. Go. Hengye also knew that the two of them would definitely not be the opponent's opponent at this time, and then his eyes sank slightly, and then the terrifying space shattered instantly. At the same time, the space of the entire infernal corpse forest was broken. Come. Let's go. Hengye didn't hesitate either, supporting the secluded spring and disappearing in this corpse forest. Damn. There is actually such a hand. This infernal corpse forest is also a stronghold in the ghost world. I didn't expect them to be willing to detonate the space here. The 9 Souls Monument also said viciously. Stop chasing, the space of this corpse forest is about to collapse, let's take these players out first. Chang Yu's voice appeared in the mind of the 9 Soul Monument. When several people heard the words, they had no choice but to do it, but they didn't expect it to come back without success in the end. Damn. Sure enough, it's still a wrong move. The 9 Souls Monument also said indignantly, obviously something went wrong in the last step of subduing the twin Ghost Emperors. Wujiang, Hudu, take the people away. Chang Yu suddenly triggered a grudge in his body, forming 2 space passages in the corpse forest that was facing the collapse. This mysterious restriction, that can only be entered, but not out of the corpse forest, was also instantly disintegrated when the twin Ghost Emperors were killed by Xiao Yang. But I have to say that the twin Ghost Emperors were so terrified that they didn't even know how they were killed by Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang's terrifying Lotus of Annihilation attacked Yin Xie's body abruptly, but with the strength of the twin Ghost Emperors, 8th rank Ghost Emperors, it was not enough to kill him. It's just that the mysterious power of the soul-devouring talisman exploded suddenly, when the Lotus of Annihilation touched the twin Ghost Emperors, and then turned into a huge force of restraint, suppressing the twin Ghost Emperors to death. At the same time, the terrifying power of the Lotus of Annihilation was also swept away instantly. So the twin Ghost Emperors did not have time to use any means, and they were said to be killed. However, this cannot be blamed for the arrogance of the twin Ghost Emperor Inxie. After all, even if Inxie died, he would not know that that power was the power of the evil soldiers in the ghost world. Among the 12 evil soldiers in the ghost world, their rarity is comparable to that of Holy Flame, so it is no wonder that the twin Ghost Emperors would end up like this. Until this time, the twin Ghost Emperors Inxie also completely fell. Ghosts in the ghost world are different from humans. The ghost world is basically a dead soul body, so after falling, it becomes a soul. There is a fighting spirit in the human body, and a death can also condense the power of the soul to escape, so as to find an opportunity to resurrection. Most of the ghosts in the ghost world come from this way. It's just that after the Ghost Emperor fell, for some reason, it condensed into a trace of soul, and that soul is the symbol of the Ghost Emperor. This is also the fall of the twin Ghost Emperors without a real meaning, because as long as there is a Ghost Emperor's soul, it will not be long before a Ghost Emperor will emerge in due. As for the Ghost Emperor's soul, the powerhouses of the super sect of Xian Santian have also worked together to study it, but they haven't found a way to destroy it. This point-grabbing competition is over. Everyone, come with me. Hudu took the lead in saying, and then his voice spread throughout every participating disciple. As Hudu's voice fell, the eyes of countless people on the ground also turned to Xiao Yang, who was a little weak in the sky. Because they all knew that if Xiao Yang didn't turn the tide in the end of this point-grabbing competition, then their consequences would be extremely tragic. Everyone on the ground also looked at each other, and without hesitation, Do Qi instantly emerged, and then headed towards the second passage. The point-grabbing competition is over, and the rest is to choose the sect. Let's go to, Xiao Yang and the others should keep the broken ones. Luo Guang also said slightly, and then Luo Guang also saw Mu Feng, and Yu flying straight into the sky. They are also clear that the biggest beneficiaries of this point-plundering competition are several people in the sky, but there is nothing to be unconvinced, because without them, the people at this time of terror have become the mouths of the twin Ghost Emperors. Remnant. The second space continued to have the contestants escape in an orderly manner. Let's go to. Xiao Yang also said in a low voice, now that his body has already entered the state where the lamp is exhausted, but fortunately he succeeded. This kid. Xiao Ye also looked at each other and smiled. At the beginning, I just had similar interests. I didn't expect you to save my life today. Xiao Ye also laughed. Xiao Ye, you have worked so hard for you all these years. From now on, you have regained your freedom. After the Nine Souls Monument finished speaking, a milky white light flashed on Xiao Ye's body, and then said it was annihilated. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Xiao Ye also said with a smile, and then greeted Xiao Yang and left calmly, but before leaving, she still asked Xiao Yang to cancel the previous agreement, and Xiao Ye also found it. There are other ways to save the Silver Blue Thunder Wolf King Tilda, so there is no need to trouble Xiao Yang. So far, the transaction between Xiao Ye and Xiao Yang has been cancelled, but the two have become good friends. This time, thank you so much. Chang Yu also said to Xiao Yang in a loving voice. Senior, you're polite. Xiao Yang also said politely. When Xiao Yang turned to look at Mu Yingying before, he found that Mu Yingying was staring at him constantly, as if she was looking for something. But I have to say that Mu Yingying is also quite charming under careful observation. Hey, let's go. Xiao Yang said to Mu Yingying, and then he no longer hesitated, and left with a few people around him to face the space. At this time, the infernal corpse forest was also close to collapsing. Yeah. Mu Yingying replied softly, and then with a wave of her beautiful ponytails, she took the heavenly fire sacred tiger to catch up with Xiao Yang and the others. I really don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to lose the souls of the twin ghost emperors. Chang Yu murmured, and then disappeared in the corpse forest. With the disappearance of Chang Yu, the corpse forest also completely collapsed. In the future, there is also no place for the infernal grove. That kid Inxia was killed by humans just after breaking through the seal. A pretentious ghost emperor, it's really ridiculous. A slender figure in the immortal seat also said in a distant place. The figure above the Xian seat is filled with ghostly energy, but its aura is much stronger than the evil spirits. This video will end here.